Hello, my name's Ralph and welcome back to the channel. It's my time, let's go. Today I'm just going to start out this video, and I've got other things going on as we get in farther, but I want to start out talking about the lever action solenoid that I'm putting on this shovel head. Now I put one on Gus's before and it seemed to work fine, so we're going to put one on Margaret. I did put a video up that showed you how to set one up, or what I went through, at least trying to get mine to work and get it to set up, which I hope has been helpful to others. And I'll leave a link at the end of this to that video on the lever starter if you're interested in looking at it. So today I'm going to try to make it as simple as I can for everyone, and I hope by putting this out that if people have questions, then they can revert to this to see.
So today we're just going to show you how to kind of wire in one of these lever starts. So it's pretty simple, but sometimes the instructions aren't very clear and a person wants to have a visual of what it is. So I'm hoping that I can help you out with that.
When you get your lever action starter, it comes with instructions like this.
So this is the instruction sheet for the lever action starter solenoid. And you can print this out, take a still of it there or whatever so you have it. But that's what I'm going to try to explain to you out here with a visual, just to make things a little bit easier. And here's the written part for you.
I don't know if some people haven't been able to get the instructions or haven't had it with them, or they're still a little bit confused by looking at it. And if you're not a wiring guy, that can lead you to some problems sometimes. So I've got my components here today, and what I'm going to do is try to show you a visual of how this will be hooked up on Margaret, and when it's on Margaret, I'll be able to stick the camera in there and show you where we've hidden it and how we've gotten it in there and what we're hooked up to. All right, so let's have a look and see what we got. So what we've got set up here is kind of a look at our components. We've got our key here, the key switch here. We've got our solenoid here, and we've got the relay. This is the one that comes with your kit. I've stuck a battery here just for visual purposes so we know we're going to the battery. And over here is my little connector, and this is basically where you would go to your wiring. Take your power and go up from where everything is situated. So as you can see, we have everything in place. Now our solenoid here, the big terminals on the solenoid, this one here is going to the battery hot, and this one is going to the starter. In the back of our key switch, we only have two positions here, and one is from the battery, which is our red, and the pink I use to run out from it, going to my panel, which would be here. So when you get your kit, they send you a small 5-prong relay like this, and that's what comes with it.
So if you look at the bottom of your relay, you'll see that there's actual small numbers stamped inside of it. And I know it's hard to see here, trying to get it to focus, and I don't think you can actually see the numbers in there, but the flat one across the top is your 87 number, and to the right of it is your 85. Your 30 is down at the bottom. And last but not least, your 86 to the left.
Once you've determined which number's which, then you'll know where to go. The plugins for the units are standard, and so it'll only plug in one way because the relay has a flat one going this way. And we're going to plug that in here now. And we'll take a wire, which is this one in this case, from the number 30, and it will go directly to the battery, not to the switch panel, but directly to the battery for 12-volt power. So we use a heavier piece of wire there than just a 16 or 18 gauge. I like to use something heavier because it's a main draw. Now our top one, which we know is the flat one set this way, is our number 87 terminal. And that 87 terminal here, we have going to the solenoid on this terminal, on the small terminal. Now on the solenoids, there's often two different terminals, and you want to use the one that's marked in S if possible. Here's a quick solenoid wiring diagram for you. And as you can see, they just use the S terminal as their connect and not the other one. So that one will go from the S terminal. On this side here, we have the number 85 terminal. And the 85 terminal would be going to our key switch. And that's going to the key switch that's powered. Once you turn the key switch on, and it has power. So it's the same as what I have, this line going over here to this, to our, I guess I'm just out of the pick a little bit, but there it's going over to our central board. So that when you turn your key switch on, power to this, power to our central board. Okay, on the other side, right here, we have the 86 switch. And the 86 switch, which is blue in this case, is coming up to a terminal, an extra terminal that I've put on here. That blue, not necessarily blue, but that one that's a number 86 terminal goes directly to the wire on our lever action solenoid. I'll show you that.
When we speak of the black wire coming off of the back of the unit, you can see it comes off the back of the unit itself. So this wire will be the black wire to the lever start that we'll be speaking about.
So that's what's hooked up to there. That's why we have it here to just to a small terminal to connect it once we put everything in place. And we've attached it to the line going up to the positive terminal on the battery, so I can get it up in the battery box and it's easy to access. The bottom terminal, which is our number 30 terminal, is going to the battery, directly hot to the battery, not to an ignition panel, to the battery. This little terminal here, of course, is going to our starter, and the other terminal off the top here goes directly up to our battery. So that's it in a nutshell. I hope that helps you wire it up. It gives you a little better understanding with the visual here of where things are going and how they're hooked up. All we got left to do is put it on the bike. Now this terminal that I have here, yes, is kind of ratty, and I've got to get a new junction box there to hook that up and wire it up. But I'm just using it for the purposes of being able to show you what's going on here with this. All right, so the 30 terminal, one on the bottom, the 30 terminal directly to the battery, the 85 terminal to the ignition switch, the 86 terminal is going over to your lever start, and the 87 terminal, the flat one, the odd flat one, is going to your solenoid. All right, I hope that helps.
And here we are, November the 12th, and you get up this morning and look at this. And so it starts up here in the Great White North. Not looking forward to winter, but it's a-coming.
So today we've got our oil tank all painted, and I've got my tabs all in place, and everything's the way it's supposed to be. So now what we're going to do is attempt to put a little bit of wrap on it. Now I'm not a professional wrapper by any means, so I'm just going to try and do the best I can. And we have to start somewhere. So let's just see. Getting it straight is going to be the trick, and I don't want it running off to one side as we go around the tank. I'd rather have a little bit on the top. And I'm going to fool with this area up here first. That already is not wanting to stick there, so more out to the edge here. Okay, so I'm just gonna have to go and trim some of these areas and work it around and then trim it up off the top, and we'll have a look at it when I got that done. So that'll be a little bit tedious there and taking time. So I'm just going to take a blade and go around the top, slice it off. Same at the bottom to get the excess off. I'm just going to work it around a bit and then we'll come back and have a look at it. All right, and there we go. That should do okay. Now just go along and check my edges. Anything's overhanging or anything like that, just to trim it up. There, that should do it. They say I'm not a professional rapper or anything, but that'll have to do. All right. Okay. Let's see if we can slide it into place and have a look and see where we're at. We have to pull it out there to put our rubber in. So I'd say that looks better. It's not in there for the final look, but just kind of nice. Just kind of offsets it a little bit. Instead of it just being black or chrome or something like that, it just offsets it enough to give you a little different look. I like it. It's nice. Okay, now we'll get back at putting the wiring in there, making sure we can get everything into place now. So I was hoping to get the wiring finished up today, but I had a bit of trouble with this solenoid here. The side broke right out when I went to tighten it up. I don't believe that I over torqued it. I've put many of them on, never broke one before, and this one just popped right out. Just another high quality piece of equipment. Today I got to order another one. This one's trash. It's going to hold me up again. Just another thing that I have to deal with, you know, and things happen like that just set you back and you go, geez, you know, it's hard on the mental state of things, but such is the way it is when you're dealing with different things. And I don't know, you know, it's made in China. Don't know. And just to let my my friends down south let you know what we're up against here sometimes with the cost of things. A little replacement plug here. I put a new relay plug on to replace the other one, so it's got a brand new one on it. That was $20. Little tube of silicone, $20. Seems like every time you go up to the hardware store or the car store to get a couple little parts, it's $50, $60. So the cost of the little tiny things that you think are you know, irrelevant, quickly add up. You know, I've spent $150 in the past week. Small little plug-in like that, $6 for hooking up my fender. All these things that add up, and they're, I guess what most shops would call consumables and things you have to do, but it wasn't very long ago they weren't this expensive. I mean, $20. Makes it wonder what it's all coming to. So as it is with most things, nothing good comes easy. I skipped up the local parts store and I did manage to get a new relay, a Ford one, so I'm hoping that that's going to work all right, because this one just snapped right out as soon as you went to tighten it. But in any case, I was able to get one so I could move along today and get some things done that I wanted to do. Now the next task is to start wiring everything in to our block. So as you can see in here, we've got things tucked away in here. Our relay is mounted off the mount here, and this is our starter relay, the big one here. So everything's up in place. We have no interference with the clutch arm here. We're well clear of all that. So everything is nice and clean and easily accessible, and that's where we want it. And any of the excess wires that are coming up here, this is our ground. We've put a tie wrap across the inside to hold the wires up to make sure that they don't fall down or interfere with anything. But I think it makes a nice clean setup, and I'm pleased with the way it's turned out.
So as you can see, it looks pretty good in there.
And we also had to move our coil mount out a little bit, because this little screw in here in the back side in there was going to interfere with the tank, and now we have clearance there, so it's not a problem. We just had to take it off, kind of bend some stuff around, get it in place. Now it's in there, it's no interference here. Looks good. So we've got our block mounted in there now, and now we just need to tie all the wiring in into the block, and we'll be good to go. A little bit to go here. So now today's Friday, and I think I'm just going to get down and do some wiring, and it's just nice and quiet, and I find it relaxing sometimes. Turns out I had a friend in yesterday, but I thought it was Wednesday, and he said, no, it's Thursday. So I lost a whole day here working away with problems and straightening things out. But in any case, it's Friday. So, I mean, the weekend's coming, and I probably will do a little work over the weekend. I have my buddy Frank's bike in here, and I guess we're going to put a new ignition system in it for him. And I think Chuck Martin's coming down here and going to polish the top of his rocker boxes. Now, Chuck does some phenomenal work when it comes to polishing things. He's got the patience of Job. I've polished a lot of things over the years, but it's not for me at all. But he does a phenomenal job. And when Frank's bike came in, I looked at it and went, wow, that's pretty clean, Frank. He said, yeah, Chuck's been at it. So we're going to pull the tanks off it and let Chuck polish the rocker boxes. About one of the last things to be polished up on it. So I think that's going to happen next week. But today, I'm just going to work away on this and take my time, try not to overthink it. I got a few things I want to do in the struts and stuff, so I'll just go along and do that, and we'll see how it goes. So one of the things I think that I want to look at today is my signal lights. I've got these small lights like this, and this is what I'm going to use on the back, and this lights up on the outside as well. There'll just be a signal light on the back, and they screw right into my strut right here. So putting signal lights on and always trying to find a place to hide things and this and that can be a bit of a pain. And I know from years of working on custom bikes and stuff, you did some sort of strange things maybe over the past, and it's how to hide them. But I want to make things as easy as I can, but yet clean. So what I've decided that I think that I'm going to do is drill a hole through the bottom of the strut back here. Just a small 1/4 inch hole to run my wiring up in. Once I get the wiring run up inside of it, I'll run it up along the inside of the strut to up front to unload where I need out there. And I'm just going to put a little silicone along there just to hold it in place so it's not flip-flopping out. So I've taped it up here on the bottom, 2 layers, and I'm going to mark it, and then I'm going to try and see if I can drill up through it and see how that goes. I could just grind away a bit and let it go up in there. But I think I'll just drill that small hole in there and we'll be all right. So I got most of my stuff. I'll get my drill. Let's see how it goes. I'll just get a little file there, and I'm just going to take the burrs off the inside of it. And I might take a different center drill and just countersink it a little bit in there. So I'll go get those things I need. So I'm just going to put the little larger countersink in there, and it'll just take any burrs off the outside bottom edge, hopefully. That's all I need to do is touch it there. That's it. And see if we can get in here. I need to get this done before I put the fender on, so that's why I'm looking at it now. Now, let's just see how this is going to fit. I'm just going to set this on here. There we go. And take the end of our wire. Thinking I'm going to have to go one more size drill there just to be sure. I'd like to get this up, and it's a little bit thicker in that area, and I don't want to crush it all out. So if I just go up one drill size, it should be fine. So I'm just going to step up one drill size. So I'm going to take my center drill here. This center drill is 1/4 inch in diameter, just goes up in there. So I've got to drill one size bigger. I just go. All right. Now what we'll do is run this down along the sides, and I'll just show you a shot when I got it in there. And see, we've just run the wire up inside there like that all the way along. I'll put a couple little dabs of silicone, good ones there, just to hold it in place. And then we'll be ready to slide the fender on once we get the other one finished. So I'll go along and do the other one, and then I'll get them siliconed into place, and we'll show you what they look like. Now I'll try to get just a little bit of silicone adhesive in there. Now we'll just let that set up a little bit. I'll do a few other things. We'll let it sit, and then I'll probably get Pauline to come out and give me a hand. We can slide the fender on once I've got other things in place there. So we're getting down to it now. I got a bunch wired in here, and green and browns and the purples and stuff are for my signal lights. So I just need to wire those together and put the fender on and wire in the tail light system. And we should be just about there. Just about there. I seem to have a problem with my horn button up here. For some reason they're not sending me back signal. So I'll have to take that apart to see what's going on, but that's always the way it is. But that'll be it for today. Tomorrow's another day. So today we're getting down to it, and as you can see I still got a mass of wires here, but what I've done is just left my self-canceling signal light unit wires all out in the open so they were easy to work with. Now it's a really good idea to make sure that you've got them wired up right. Follow the instructions, they're pretty clear, and but it's going to and from the switch and then to the light, so you have to pay attention on how you wire them up. So I've left everything wide open like this, and I've taken my power from this, and my green wires that would regularly go to the flasher, I've run up to the light. So they go into the button at the light, my green wires, and they come out the color that they should be to the signals. Be brown on the right hand side, purple on the left hand side. So it's a really good idea to leave all this out before you button it all up, because if you button it all up and then you find you have a problem, you got a problem. The wiring diagram for it, am I upside down? Oh, I don't know. It's kind of like this. So this gives you an idea where it's going to and from and back and forth. It's fairly simple, but it does require them to be wired properly. So now that I've got it all hooked up, we're going to see if we got lights. So now we've got them in place. Let's keep our fingers crossed and see if they're going to work. I'll hook up the power here, and we'll try the right hand signal first. You just press the button, and we've got lights here on the back, and we've got lights up here on the front. So they'll run for a few seconds like that by themselves. Plenty of time to be at a corner, waiting to turn. You're in the lineup and such, so they don't cancel out really fast. There you go. Now let's try the right hand side. And I got lights back there, and I got lights up front. So it looks like a success story. I'm pretty happy about that. Now we just have to go and kind of button all this mess up and make sure that everything's the way it should be. Follow the wires that I have put together, and we'll be all good to go. Gotta say, I'm pretty happy about that. I have done things before and wired them up and went, oh, maybe you got that one wrong or that one wrong, so we'll make sure that they're right this time and move on. All we got left to do now is put the back fender on, wire in the brake light and the tail light, and we'll be all set. So I'll go along and do the rest there. You see how we're coming along? We're getting down to it now. So we've got things pretty well cleaned up in there. I'm going to put some wrap around all this. And there's a big space between my battery here and stuff, so I'll put a spacer plate on the battery there to keep it from rubbing against these. And we'll tape these up so that they'll all fit down in there nice. So I just got to hook my tail light up and my brake light, and then we should pretty well have it. So if you enjoyed this video today, like, subscribe, comment, ring the bell, do those kind of things. It helps us to grow. It's been an ongoing saga here getting this done, but wiring's always something that takes a little time, and if you take your time, you can do it. Be sure and check out my buddies down south, Hippie's Chopper Corner and Slick Ed's Custom Cycles. And if you feel like you're learning anything or you'd like to donate to the channel, buy me a coffee. The link is in the description, and it's very much appreciated, and I thank each and every one of you that's done that for me. All right, see you next week.